Joining us now for a panel discussion on this growing and critically important issue in America are Donald Whitehead, the executive director of the National Coalition for the Homeless, Steve Reed, mayor of Montgomery, Alabama, who was recently appointed president of the African American Mayors Association, and Pastor Tim Jackson, who has turned two of his churches in Knoxville, Tennessee into shelters. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us. Reverend Jackson, we'll start with you. Since you're in Tennessee, which has recently passed strict new laws against the homeless, can you explain what it's like there and how your churches have become shelters and how that's been helping?
I think we have maybe the largest homeless community in the state. And even though the state has made it a Class C felony, our Knoxville mayor and our county mayor both have allocated lots of resources, financial resources and organizational resources to help with the homeless crisis community. And for our two churches that I pastor at Magnolia and Vestal, we simply want to partner. We're simply partnering with our city and our county to do just that.
And Mayor Reed, the African American Mayors Association just wrapped up its annual conference where some of the most pressing issues facing cities, of course, all of that was discussed. How did the issue of homelessness make its way into that discussion? Okay, wait, I'm having a slight audio issue with the mayor. Are you muted by any chance, Mr. Mayor? You're not coming through on our end. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you just a quick second.
Yeah, so Donald, as one of the nation's leading experts on homelessness, when you see states like Tennessee and Florida use legislation to crack down on homelessness, how do laws like that actually affect the problem?
They negatively affect the problem when people experiencing homelessness are criminalized. It actually makes their path out of homelessness more expensive and harder. People are not able to access housing. They're not able to access employment. The things that really make a difference in their transition are actually exacerbated in a negative way. I'll give you another law. I don't know if you know about this one. In Kentucky, they're actually using stand your ground provisions in a law that makes it legal to use deadly force to remove people that are homeless, up to and including a violent, lethal force to do that. These laws are more expensive than housing. They do nothing to help people. They actually undermine health conditions. I could go on and on about the many things. I would also say in your number, the 653,000 is a count of one night. And if you look at homelessness over the year, those numbers are actually a lot higher. So that's it isn't a census, it's a one night point in time count, but the number is increasing. Another really important fact, and I know I probably should move on, is that the overwhelming number of people living outdoors, the highest percentage, are people 55 and over.
Staggering stat. And Reverend, let me ask you this question too. It's so striking in doing the news that we always focus on one end. We don't focus enough on the root issue. We want to talk about student debt, but we don't talk about the cost of college that has led to the student debt issue. And so we were talking about, the homeless people on the street and at the highway intersection. No one grows up wanting to be homeless. I'm sure all those people want to be living a better life than they do. So are we doing enough on the root issues, whether it's jobs, drugs, mental health, the social safety net, alcoholism, all of those things? Are we doing enough at the root level to avoid all those folks we see at the bus stop at the highway intersection? Are we doing the hard work?
Yeah, I would say, having grown up homeless, for me, I know that as a kid who was homeless, I needed that education. I needed job training. I needed health care. I needed to be surrounded by positive, encouraging influences that would lift me out of my poverty and my homelessness. And for us, again, working with the city and the county at Magnolia Avenue, UMC, and Vestal UMC, that's what we do. We try to get to the root issue. Number one, we do feed them. We do get them clothing, but we also offer them job training, education, Getting simple things like their identification, their birth certificate, their social security card, and for a lot of them, making sure they have routes to recovery. If they are dependent upon alcohol and drugs, that they have avenues to find that freedom from that bondage. And so for us, we try to get to the root of the issue. We know that we need to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, house the homeless, but also getting them that education that they need, their GED. I got a GED, and getting them those things that equip them for life. And if we simply just feed them, we're not getting to the root of that problem you're talking about.
And Mr. Mayor, I believe we have audio for you now. We've seen states spend millions and even billions of dollars and still fail to effectively address homelessness, as Reverend was just talking about. And when we do these segments and we have these panels about homelessness in particular, we always hear the same responses, the resources and getting to the root of the issue. Yet we still see the homeless population as is, and we see it continuing to grow. So why is that, and what is the real fix then?
Well, we're seeing the cost of housing go up in a lot of our cities. We talk to mayors across this country. That is a major problem when you have people on fixed incomes and the cost of housing continues to rise. It presents a challenge. And I don't think policymakers at the federal or state level have been as proactive as needed. And that's why we've been trying to work with Mayor Karen Bass in Los Angeles and other mayors around the country to bring this attention to Washington. And also to make our state legislatures know what they can do to be helpful on the front end of this, whether it's around our veterans, whether it's around those who are experiencing just a small, brief hiccup in their financial resources. Those are things that are needed, and we deal with that on a daily basis and working with faith leaders and community leaders around our different cities and communities. And we will continue to work on it as mayors, but we need the help of the public sector at different levels. We need the help of our faith-based leaders and our community leaders who've been doing a great job. They're on the ground every day working this. And certainly we need the help from philanthropy to assist us in many of our cities to address this issue.
And Mayor, on that same train of thought, we're the richest country in the world. And so there's an irony to teachers buying their public school teachers buying their own supplies. And there's an irony to seeing a lot of homeless people on your way to work or walking down the block. And listen, I don't think money solves all problems. People have to want to get better for themselves. But at the end of the day, I think people, just everyday Americans go, we have plenty of money for Ukraine, and we got plenty of money for Israel. It's that old Tupac lyric. We got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. How do you respond from a government level that we seem to have money for everything else except for the issues happening on our own street?
Yeah, I think that when we're considering public safety, we often don't think about homelessness. We don't think about those that are living under bridges and are sleeping outside in many of our communities. When we think about public health, we don't think about those things. And I think it's up to us as policymakers to make the administrative fixes that will help people have the assistance they need without giving up another form of government assistance they may have, or there again, be able to get just a level of bridge loan funding for support. And a lot of governments at the local level certainly are investing in partnerships, whether it's prefab housing, tiny homes, and working with, again, faith-based organizations and community organizations to address that with the dollars that we have. But to your point, I do think a reprioritization of our funding is necessary, as well as some administrative fixes at the federal level through the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the VA that will assist our veterans and will assist us to work with other entities that right now makes it very hard for cities and communities to do just that.
And Donald, if the average viewer at home may not be in government, right, and this all feels very above them, right, of things that they can do to help. So what are some things that any community, any person can do, big or small, that can move the needle on this?
I think it is absolutely a national issue, but there are absolutely local fixes, and I applaud those like the mayor and the reverend who are doing that kind of work. The main thing that communities can do, and we've done research among the national groups, and we found that 70% of people in this country are higher don't believe that that communities should be criminalizing people. And what I mean by criminalizing is jailing, handcuffing, and fining people simply because they're homeless. And people don't choose to be homeless. They're forced into homelessness by structural issues. Let me give you an example of Los Angeles, California. They house 700 people a day that are homeless, but the next day 725 show up. So mayors, local leaders are doing a great job, but as was pointed out earlier, there has to be a dramatic federal investment. And we've had 4 periods of homelessness in this country, and every time we've seen a reduction, it's been because of dramatic federal influx of production or some other resource like Social Security or Medicare or the housing programs of the 30s. So we need to get back to that. We have never funded this issue to the level of the problem. And we're also seeing people react to that with violence. We're going to release a report today that says that people who are experiencing homelessness are being victimized on the streets of this country by people that do it simply because they're homeless. Which would be considered a hate crime if it was another class. So we need a dramatic investment. We need the federal government to say, we see you, this is a priority issue, and we're going to devote the funds that are necessary to be able to solve it. Because we can do that. We need housing, we need services, and the federal government can do it. We've done it with veterans. We've done a really good job with veterans. And if we use those same principles for the general population, we would see a dramatic decrease.
We have never funded this issue to the level of the problem. That says a lot right there. Last question to you, Reverend. You've been, as you said, homeless before. Yeah. What should the average person in this car who rolls up the window, locks the door, looks down at their phone, when a homeless person gets close, what should we know about the homeless population in America?
Well, the problem of the human race. You know, I would tell people all the time, this isn't a church problem, this isn't a civic problem, this is a humanity problem. And if we are going to be contributing to the human race, when we see people who are hungry, you don't have to give them money. Walk in McDonald's and buy them a cheeseburger. You know, walk in Walmart and get them a jacket or get them some shoes. But I would say move your life, move your churches, move your civic and nonprofit organizations to the heart of this problem that we have. That is a nationwide problem, but is also a local problem. Don't avoid the problem, engage it. Engage it with intelligence and engage it with compassion and grace. And, you know, my son has been with me for 3 years now at Magnolia and Vestal UNC, and he has seen all of this. And I know that every time I engage a broken, hurting person, he's watching, and he's been there to help feed the hungry and clothe the naked. Don't avoid the problem, engage it with intelligence and with compassion and do your part. And we can impact this one life at a time.
Perfect way to end.
All right, thank you so much to all of our guests. We truly appreciate all of your expertise in joining us this morning. We'll be right back.